Then each have 3 minutes to answer questions that we receive from citizens around town in advance of today's forum. Jen and Angie, who are sitting to the right and left of me, will be holding up time to let you know when you're down to 1 minute and when you're down to 30 seconds. Please be respectful of time as we have a lot of candidates to hear from this evening. As a reminder, there will be no questions from the audience. So this is not an open audience participation forum. These questions were solicited from the club in advance. So we will go ahead and get started now. We'd like to introduce Mark McCleary, who is running for Villa Park Library Board. And Mark, you have 3 minutes to please tell us a little bit about yourself and why you're running for the library board.
I'm running for the library board because I've been on it since 1991. And I want to see the building completed. And I think you had a couple questions. I mean, I'm running basically unopposed, so.
All right. The first question is, can you please update us on the library remodel? On what date is the grand opening planned?
Okay, the project is about 50% complete. We anticipate that we will be closing March 26th for about 2 to 3 weeks. That's kind of open at this point, as we move materials, services, and staff into the new addition. At this time, the existing building's roof will be stripped, a new roof installed. The books will be covered and will not be available. So we'll have things going on in the library. People will be working in the library, but the library will not be open. How long it's going to be closed depends upon how quickly we move things.
Once the library construction is done, what new programs, resources, or events would you like to see implemented to benefit the entire community and bring more people into the library?
I didn't answer part of your first question.
Oh, sure.
Okay, we anticipate that the existing building will take another 6 to 7 months. We're not positive of when we're going to have a ribbon cutting, but our goal at this point is for Library Week, which is in October. But that is not a guaranteed promise. Okay, I asked the library to give me some information on what we're going to do. Okay, we're going to have a large meeting room that can be divided into 2 parts, so different groups can meet there. We're going to have study rooms for youth and adults, a new high school and teen area, a group collaboration room, and a larger digital media room. The staff came up with some things that they hope we will be doing. We're going to do free tax preparation each year, English as a second language conversation club, Latino family literacy project, kids book discussions, more preteen teen groups programming, wider variety of computer classes, a memory cafe, which I will take use of, wider variety of programming, author visits and such, and how-to fests, home improvements, etc. STEAM and STEM Fest, One Book, One Town annual Comic-Con event. I look forward to see what that is. Reintroduction of the Friends Murder Mystery event, and Multimedia Lab will feature a 3D printer. And updated Wi-Fi access with laptop checkouts. Got a lot on our platter.
Sounds like it. All right, well, thank you very much, Mark, for your time, and you are now free for the rest of the evening.
Oh, good.
Okay.
Good luck to everybody else.
Thank you. So now we'd like to welcome our District 45 school board candidates to the stage. We would like to note that these candidates for school board are also running unopposed. We have Melissa Slynn and Kim Taglia. Carol Klemecki is also running for school board, but she was unable to attend due to a work conflict, but she did provide answers to the questions. So Melissa and Kim, thank you for being here. We'll go ahead and start with Melissa, and you'll have 3 minutes to introduce yourself and tell us why you're running for school board.
My name is Melissa Slynn. I am running for school board because there were a lot of things that we've started in the past 4 years that I've been on the board that I want to see completed, or at least move closer to completed. I became interested in the school board because I have 3 children of my own. My oldest is at Willowbrook now, and 2 younger are at Jackson. I've been involved in the schools since my oldest was in kindergarten, through PTA and district-wide committees, and school committees as well. That's basically, because I want to see things finished that have been started is the reason why I'm running again.
Okay. Kim, if you could introduce yourself in a few minutes to tell us why you're running for school board.
Okay, I am Kim Taglia, and I've been on the school board for 4 years, and I am running again because I love being on the board, and we do have things that we started, and I would like to see them completed as well, and I like just to be there for the children and for the district. So that's really about it.
Okay. Carol, again, sent in a brief introduction and then the answers to her questions. She said she's sorry she was unable to be here tonight, but work kept her away. She thanked the Women's Club for putting the forum together. She's excited to run for re-election because it gives her the opportunity to continue working with the other board members as they continue to look towards the future. So the first question we had for the community, and we'll start with you, Kim. Dr. Palmisano has been presenting the future of D45. What, in your opinion, is the most important aspect of this vision, and how would you implement it?
Our district's vision of preparing students to navigate a dynamic or ever-changing world, a changing future. This is what the presentation refers to. The world of tomorrow for our kids, how they will have to face so much change. When you and I were kids, as students, we were preparing for something, example, lawyer, doctor, teacher, business. Our children today are not ready for tomorrow's future, so we have to prepare our kids for everything. Problem solve in the midst of unknown situations, collaborate with others in teamwork, negotiate with others, work well with others, analyze problems, critically think, know how to use their resources, know which resources are reliable and which ones are not. Therefore, in order to do this, we as a district are changing our curriculum for kids. Example, we have Eureka Math and other content areas, one-to-one technology, STEM, Project Lead the Way, coding, Hour of Code, look into the possibility of full-day kindergarten to prepare kids early on, future classrooms to make it easy for students to collaborate and for teachers to teach the new curriculum, an early childhood center to get kids off to a good start, and perhaps even the opportunity for tuition-based preschool.
Same question to you, Melissa. Dr. Palmisano has been presenting the future of D45. What, in your opinion, is the most important aspect of this vision, and how would you implement it?
Okay, so I agree with Kim. We're preparing our kids for an unknown future. Our kids are going to be looking towards jobs that aren't even created yet. We don't know what those are going to be. We need to teach our kids in a different way, and our kids learn differently than we learned. We need to also give them the skills to be flexible, to be adaptable, to be able to handle the change that is going to come to them. The part about the how would we implement it, the district is doing all of the things that Kim mentioned, but I just want to point out that the board itself does not implement things. We have to be the ones who are financially responsible for the implementation. So we will make sure that we're not spending $350,000 on chalkboards when we know that that's not appropriate. So I myself will look to the financial portion of the presentations that will be given to the board. And I'm sure everybody got the phone call today, but on April 1st, there's a very important meeting where the board ourselves are going to be hearing the presentations from our long-range planning committee, from the kindergarten committee, the future classrooms committee, and the early childhood committee to hear the ideas that are now going to be presented to us and the options that we might have to push forward for.
Then I'm going to read Carol Klemecki's answer to the same question. I think the most important aspect of the vision of the future of D45 is continued collaboration between administration, staff, parents, and the community. That is one of the reasons Dr. Palmisano is spending so much time visiting each PTA to ensure that everyone is informed and part of the process. This vision includes us all, and it's important that we will speak up, ask questions, take ownership as we move forward. I am helping to implement the vision by running for school board again because this is a long-term vision. It will take time to implement, and I'm committed to doing my part. It's my honor and privilege to be part of the team driving it forward. The second question for the community is, what are the current strengths of the district and where do we need improvement? I'll start by reading Carol's answer and then I will go to you, Melissa. I believe the current strengths of the district are the people inside of it, involved and supportive stakeholders, parents that care about their students' success, invest their time in their schools, and are willing to volunteer and step up to pitch in. We have a caring, diverse, and educated staff that are committed to education, to the students, and to the success of their schools and district. We also have an administration team with strong leaders who together have future vision, listening ears, and are dedicated. By working together, we can achieve anything. Where we need to improve D45 is better communication. We need to find the right way to convey our messages and make sure a wide variety of people are reached. I don't think we've uncovered the answer yet, but we're determined to find it. I love seeing all the same faces at the meetings, and their input is always valuable, but I'd like to see more. I'd like to see a more diverse population represented and their voices heard. So Melissa, again, what are the current strengths of the district and where do we need improvement?
Okay. My answer is very similar to Carol's. I think the people in our district are our biggest strength. Our teachers are working well with administration to push things forward and to write curriculum for our kids, so that kids that are at North School are receiving the same education that kids at Stevenson School are receiving in all of our buildings. I think that one of our strengths is that we have an administration that is supportive of our teachers and is willing to listen, and as well as our board is willing to listen to what parents have to say. What I feel needs improvement, I also had communication, and I am on a committee right now that is trying to improve the communication in our district. We have many ways of communicating, and the information is there. We just have to know how to look for it and where to look for it. One of the other things that we need improvement on is how we utilize our space in the district. Our buildings are busting at the seams. We have not a lot of space, but yet we want to incorporate more early childhood classrooms and full-day kindergarten, but where would we do that and how would we do that? And I feel that we will hear some of that at that meeting on April 1st from the long-range planning. I think that's where we're headed, but it is something that needs improvement.
Great. Kim, same question for you.
So I believe we have many strengths in District 45, but the ones that stand out and make District 45 a great place is, first of all, our superintendent and his passion and commitment for our district. He has an aspiration and a goal for all our schools and all our children. He is making sure that the district mission and vision is successfully navigating a dynamic world by valuing high levels of learning, engagement, collaboration, growth, diversity, trust, and communication. Second, we have our 5-year strategic plan in place, and everyone is working diligently, and with their hard work and persistence, we will get to the 5-year conclusion of this strategic plan. I believe this, alongside the dedication, perseverance, and determination of our great teachers, staff, and administration, is what will make District 45 a place for all. And third, the district is very good with our finances and our budgets. We are fiscally responsible. This is because our finance department has worked hard to get us where we need to be. We're very conservative, and we always err on the side of caution. We budget all our monies, our savings, investments, reserves, and funds accordingly. Where we need improvements, I believe the district is doing great in many ways, but the first one where we need improvements would be we are behind with the new SB 100 bill change. This bill changed in January of 2015 from SB 100 into law as Public Act 099-0456. 4 years ago, this bill changed, and we are still not fully on board with the changes. We are having difficulty as a district trying to come up with the best common practices and philosophy across the board for all students. This is because of the elimination of zero tolerance. We as a district have to find the right structures and methodology and use a restorative approach rather than a punitive one. Second, I believe we need improvement in the area of equity. When we say equity, we refer to fairness, justness, impartiality, and even disinterest. Sometimes I think people get confused between the words equity and equality and have a tendency to overlook the significance of the word equity. Our district is very culturally diverse, and we have to understand that no child is alike and every child is different and unlike one another. As a district, we need to develop and become further educated on this topic so that we can value each and every child for who they are.
So that wraps it up with Melissa and Kim. So thank you both for being here. A reminder again, they are both running for District 45 School Board, along with Carol Klemecki, who could not be here this evening. So thank you both for being here tonight.
Thank you for having us.
Now we are going to welcome our District 88 School Board candidates. There are 8 total candidates running for 4 seats, and 6 of the candidates are here this evening. Angie and Jen are going to help put everyone in alphabetical order. So we apologize that we don't have name placards this evening. So when you do answer your questions, we're just going to ask if you could repeat your name again before you answer your question. Do you need the list? Ray? Thank you. Thank you, everyone, for being here this evening. Again, this is our largest group of the night. I'll repeat again. There are 8 candidates running for school board. We have for 4 seats, and we have 6 that are here tonight for District 88. Tina Haralambopoulos is out of the country, so she did send in answers, and unfortunately, Dan Olson had an emergency family situation, and we just found out right before the meeting that he would be unable to be here. So he's not going to be here this evening. I do have some answers from Tina on her questions, but we'll go ahead and we'll start with Ray. And again, as a reminder to everyone, you have 3 minutes to introduce yourself. If you could please say your name before you introduce yourself, again, since we don't have name placards. Just so everyone knows, for the name placard, after the forum, this will be rebroadcast, so you'll be able to watch it on our Facebook page, the Villa Park Junior Women's Club Facebook page, also on Villa Park's YouTube channel. So that way, if you could just say your name for the people who are watching this afterwards, that they will be able to put a name with a face and know who they're voting for. So again, Ray, we'll start with you. If you could take a few minutes to introduce yourself and let us know why you're running for school board.
Good evening. My name is Ray Chidas. I am a Addison resident of 20 plus years, a father of 4, my wife, Arcelia. I have 3 sons. One's adopted, Alex, 24. He graduated through the system. Marco, 17. And he's a junior at Addison Trail. Jonathan, 15, he's a sophomore. And I have a 5th grader, 10 years old, that's Sophia. I am a blue-collar parent. I am also a well-informed parent, a Latino parent as well. I attend the CAC, TPO, Padre Latino, athletics boosters and music boosters, and other areas in the village. I also coach softball and basketball. I guess I want to be part of our community, a little more involved and what goes on in the school system. Having two sons in the system, I've learned a lot about diversity, a lot about equity and what's going on. And, well, I'd like to continue to help the already hardworking board that we have. Good things have come from this board, and I agree with many things, so it'd be to help out and continue the effort.
Great, thank you, Ray. Donna, if you could introduce yourself and let us know why you're running for school board.
Sure. Hi, I'm Donna Kraft-Kane. I'm an attorney here in Villa Park. I actually grew up in Villa Park. Currently live in Lombard, though. People don't always realize that 40% of our students that go to Willowbrook do live in Lombard. So, and District 88 actually covers 9 communities. So we are also the second most diverse district in the state of Illinois. So I've been on the board since 2004. I've been president of the board since 2011. As I was looking at another re-election, I considered, whether or not it made sense for me to run again. But I believe that the 14 years of experience I've had on the board, I've gone through some pretty tough times. When I first came on the board is when we passed the referendum for building the future and completed the building improvements in both schools. In 2009, we had the .01 CPI, which really made financially difficulties for all school districts in the state of Illinois, as well as then we went through the recession when the state of Illinois was not making the payments to the schools. Throughout that entire time, though, we've been able to maintain our programs and to maintain our budget within the district, and as well as to make changes. I think about how many more accreditations that we have available to our students now than when I first started on the board. So there's dual credit programs. When I first came on the board, we really focused on everybody going to college, and now the focus is on where are kids at? Are they going to be going into a career? Can we prepare them from certification so when they graduate they can go into the workforce? Are they going to go to a 2-year school or a 4-year school? And realizing that I guess my dream for all students is just that they have the opportunity to be the best pupil that they can be. And being a parent myself, I have 3 children that graduated through District 88, and each of them had their own challenges going through. And it helps me to realize that for each student, we need to have different programs available to them. So, thank you.
Thank you. Okay, Amy, you can introduce yourself and why you're running for school board.
I am Amy Finnegan, and I have been a longtime resident of District 88, and I'm going to be a future parent of a child at District 88. So I really do have a strong commitment to the schools and seeing that they succeed. What I'm really looking to do is also to kind of continue in the path that the current board has taken. I love District 88. I think that they've made really wonderful changes over the years that I've lived here. The board has been really quite instrumental in, working with the administration to support them and really push us in the right direction. And I just kind of want to foster an environment that really creates active community members and lifelong learners. So I just strongly believe that when our students succeed, really the whole community succeeds. So, whether you've got a child in the district or you're just a resident, we all benefit when the schools are strong. So,
thank you. Lisa?
Hi, good evening. My name is Lisa Knopf. First, I'd like to say it's nice to see a contested election. We don't have that a lot in our local election, so it's nice to have so many people involved, and I wish all the candidates the best of luck. As I said, my name is Lisa Knopf. I'm a resident of Addison. I grew up in Addison in DuPage County. I had 2 children that went through District 88. My daughter Megan is the class of 2014, and my son Matthew was the class of 2017. Currently, I'm on the library board in Addison. I've been a trustee since 2001, so I have some experience as an elected official. I got on the library board to get involved in the community. Now that my kids are older and they're through the district, I feel it's a good opportunity to give back to the community, having some experience just in Addison and having had experience with my children going through the district. I live and work in Addison. I'm also an attorney. My office is in downtown Addison. And in addition to my community involvement, I also do quite a bit of pro bono legal work. So I've had an opportunity to work with residents in DuPage 88 from all walks of life, which I think has given me some good experience. One of the reasons I'm running, as I said, is I'm a strong supporter of District 88. My kids had a great experience there. They were both very different. They did different things. They were in different sports. My daughter in particular was a swimmer, so I had the opportunity to work with parents and get to know some of the Willowbrook parents, because the swim team is a co-op team that is from both schools. So that was a good way to really meet people across the district. And I'm looking forward to continuing the mission. The board's done a great job, and I'm hoping to help continue that. Thank you.
Glenn, you can introduce yourself, please.
Hi, my name is Glen Matthews. I've been in Addison for about 20 years. I'm 43 years old, happily married for 19. I have 3 children, one of which is currently at Addison Trail High School. He's a 2-time state qualifier wrestler. Proud of that. I'm a law enforcement officer. After high school, I attended Lincoln Technical Institute. I went to the Police Academy, the United States Marine Corps, and attended some college courses at COD. I've been involved in law enforcement for quite some time. As soon as I finished my term with the Marine Corps, I became an auxiliary police officer. I was involved with the Addison VFW, a member of the Addison Rec Club, the AGSP, and Headlock Wrestling Academy, which is a feeder program with the high school. I've had the pleasure of experiencing all aspects of the workforce. I started off in fast foods as a teenager, moved over to the mechanical side to the automotive side, which in turn got me with, helped me find a job in the United States Marine Corps as a jet mechanic. After honorably serving there, I began working with a generator company with multiple responsibilities as a mechanic, service writer, fleet manager, and eventually the director of service operations for 3 branches. At the same time, I worked as an auxiliary police officer. Again, it's a job that I've always loved. Eventually, I worked my way all the way to a full-time police officer, which is what I am today. I'm not the type of person that sits around. So prior to having children, all my spare time went to helping my father-in-law with his painting business, which up till recently I've currently worked. Once I had children, my spare time was diverted to the kids, being that it's been as far as Daddy and Todd at the Park District, all the way to volunteering to coach just about every sport that was available in the community, all the way through the high school level. I currently volunteer coach as the football coach as well as a varsity wrestling coach at Addison Trail. Not only do I have 3 children going through the district, but I have 5 nieces and nephews who also be going through the district as well. Having been so involved with the community, I feel as though this is the next step to serve my community and the best interests of our children.
Thank you. And Mark, we'll go ahead and introduce yourself, please.
My name is Mark Turk. I'd first of all like to thank the Villa Park Junior Women's Organization for inviting me to come here tonight. I appreciate it. As I said, my name is Mark Turk. My wife Denise and I have lived in the district for 35 years. We raised 2 children that both were graduates of District 88 schools and educated there, and went off to college and are enjoying successful careers on their own. For the past better part of 20 years, we've been involved with the high school in all sorts of different capacities, starting out as most parents in booster clubs, athletics, music, theater, and I also served as CAC co-president, and from there was asked to join the committee involving the Build the Future referendum, which I'm happy to say passed, and the schools have been renovated, and I'm hoping, and what I'm seeing is the kids are really taking advantage of the things that were done from that. We're very proud of having done that. I'm also involved in the District 88 Foundation, the PI Foundation. I've also been involved in youth baseball, both in Villa Park, Addison, and Lombard. And by virtue of these organizations and the things that I belong to, I've met a lot of terrific people on both sides of the district, became lifelong friends, associates, colleagues, sometimes confidants about certain things that go on in our community. and I have a passion for education. That's why I'm running. I've been on the board. I'm in my second year serving on the board, and I know these words are overused. It is indeed an honor and a pleasure to serve on that board and help be responsible for the education of 4,000 kids, which is what I put first and foremost when I talk about the schools and the decisions that we're going to be making and we have made. And I thank you.
Thank you. I will go ahead and read Tina's introduction. Hello, my name is Constantina Tina Haralambopoulos. I am the newest member for District 88, appointed in August 2018. I am a longtime resident of Addison. I attended Addison schools, had my first job at the Addison Park District as a lifeguard and swim instructor, and graduated from Addison Trail High School. Needless to say, this community is a big part of my life, and running for D88 school board will allow me to continue to give back to the community. Now we'll go ahead and start with the question portion. And each of you will be given 3 minutes to tell us your answers to these questions. And again, if you could repeat your name when we do this, so the people who will be watching on the replay will be able to know exactly who you are. The first question is, in the fall, Dr. Helton held town hall meetings to discuss the new strategic plan for District 88. What is one thing you would like to see as part of the strategic plan? And Ray, we'll go ahead and start with you, and then we'll just go ahead and move down the dais.
Okay. Sorry, Ray Chidas. I would like to continue with the program that's current. Our strategic plan for District 88 is very thorough, very well thought out. There's a lot of very good points on it. So I would continue to challenge our students, our college-bound students in the AP, the honors courses, and continue to offer and get them more involved so they can understand their ability to do so. My son is an example. In the freshman year was told that because of his grades, he may not have been able to handle the AP and the honors courses. Well, he showed us that he came out with a 4.0 and he wasn't challenged enough. He overcame some hearing deficiencies. So I believe that if that would have been another point of a counselor to help him to go ahead and succeed, he may have been able to keep up with that AP and honors all the way from freshman year, excuse me. There are students that come to the school that are socially, emotionally, and physically challenged. And if it's not picked up by the IEP or the 504 program, then these kids can actually go through our system and not engage as they should engage. They're quiet, they sit kind of towards the back, and they need to be understood, and maybe some of these programs would be good for them to break out of their shell and try to reach their goals, which are for everyone. So that was one thing that I would try to involve myself in collaboration, of course, with the board members, and see what could be done.
Thank you. Again, I'm Donna Kraft Kane. The board did adopt the strategic plan last month. So a lot of my ideas are already in there, but what I enjoyed most was the process. When we started going through the strategic plan last fall again, and seeing where we were before, what we've accomplished, and then areas that we always need to improve. But it was great being able to talk to parents, talk to administrators, talk to teachers, talk to students, and hear what they're looking at. And again, as I mentioned before, we're the second most diverse district in the state of Illinois. And so the issue of diversity and equity and cultural awareness and cultural competency was something that came up a lot. So that was included a lot in the strategic plan. Probably the most important part about this strategic plan is that we do use it to set the superintendent's goals. It's how we evaluate the superintendent and how he's doing. And the next board will be hiring the new superintendent when Dr. Helton retires. So that strategic plan is going to be important because I think the board will use it to be able to evaluate those candidates. So, but for me, probably the thing that I liked the most is we talked about the fact that we have to have that vision from birth to when kids go through college. As the District 45 candidates talked about, you know, what students are going through today are not necessarily what we went through, or even I saw the difference between my oldest daughter and my youngest daughter going through school and how education changed and how education continues to change. So it's something that we always have to evaluate. We have to see where are the kids coming from, what they're doing, and as District 88, we have 3 feeder schools that come into our district, plus a lot of parochial schools. So we have to be able to know what's going on in those districts, and how are the students going to come to us, and what do we need to prepare them to go on to the next step of their lives. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Amy Finnegan. And first of all, I do love that when the district was moving forward with the strategic plan, they really talked to all of the stakeholders. They talked to students, the faculty, they had residents, everybody weighing in really on what they saw as their vision. And one of the things that it seemed to me that they were trying to do is really, again, move forward, because things are constantly changing and they have to constantly address the needs as they're coming up. The strategic plan as laid out it was very comprehensive, and it really kind of brought everybody into the fold, I felt. It you know, kind of covers dealing with the needs of every student out there. We've got kids who learn differently now than they used to. You know, we've got students with special needs, we've got advanced learners, and I think that it's really important that in addition to just the learning, you know, there's the intangibles within the district that you can't really quantify with testing. It's about making the students better citizens and making them aware of the world, and really just making society a better place. And I think a lot of those things that they're kind of bringing in with different activities, different clubs, are very valuable. And again, hard to quantify, but people in the community can feel the difference that they make, and I think they're very important.
Lisa.
My name again is Lisa Knopf, and as the other candidates have mentioned, the strategic plan is a product of the community from the ground up. They spoke with students, with parents, with residents, with staff, and built a plan to form the basis of the district going forward. And since we are looking at a new superintendent, kind of a roadmap for the new superintendent, for the new administration. One thing I like about the strategic plan is the school community partnership part. We have a diverse community. We draw from a number of suburbs around the 2 schools, and we have every trade and profession you can think of. We have blue collar, we have stay-at-home parents, we have white collar doctors, you know, we have state elected officials in our community. So I think that drawing in the community to help support the schools, it costs us all a lot of money, and we all benefit from it. Whether or not we have students that go through the district, it's important. It affects our home values, it affects our future community members, because the students coming up through the district, while they may not all move back here and stay, a lot of them do. A lot of them come back. The families are still here. And I think that we need to continue to produce graduates that are going to make the world a better place, that are going to come back and support our community, our schools, our businesses, as our population changes, as new families move in, as the different members of different cultures move in and out of our community. So I would like to see the district continue to promote that school community partnership, reaching out to the business community, reaching out to our seniors and the parts of the community that may not be intimately familiar with what it's like to have a student at the district, or they've had their students have been gone for 20 years and they don't know what it's like now, which is, as several of these folks have said, it's really different than when we went through school. So I'm looking forward to helping implement that plan.
Glen Matthews again. It's kind of hard to follow 4 people saying the same thing. So what I found when I got these questions, with this question being ready for tonight, was that I was in awe of how well the community came together to implement all of this, which I was kind of just found out that it was implemented as of the 25th of February, that it was actually in place and running. So it was just nice to see how well-rounded the plan is. Being a police officer, what I was happy to see was the number one thing on their on the list of the vision was a safe and healthy work environment. Being a police officer, I think that's one of the most important things to me as far as the schools, because without a healthy and safe work environment, the students aren't going to learn or want to learn or even want to be there. So my resources would help me, work with local and federal law enforcement to, achieve the safe and healthy work environment as far as that goes. What I'd like to see a little more of is information and learning based on real-world issues in the schools. We see a lot of publicity on the news, and a lot of it's bad, with the safety. You never see the good stuff that's involved with the schools, the good measures, the good training, just don't see the good, because the news only puts bad news out there, because obviously it's, typically it's good news for them because of ratings. So I'd just like to see a little more real world learning as far as safety goes with the schools.
Mark Turk here. That strategic plan we're talking about encompassed over 700 people. Some of you might even be sitting here that might have participated in this. It was a labor of love. It was absolutely fascinating to watch how many people participated in this. And some of those ideas that you'll see on this plan are yours, or those that participated. Those words and those phrases and those ideas are in there, verbatim, some of them, because they were so well thought out and so profound. One of the things that personally I'm proudest of was, I can't picture the date, okay, but there were plans to have the entire schools walk out, and because of the current situation in our country, our district got together and said, how can we keep this, first of all, from happening without laying down a mandate that says you can't walk out? They got together with some 30 some odd schools and said, how can we do this? And the things that they put together, it was on the news, on Channel 5 News came, I believe it was Channel 5, came and filmed this and got together. All students had a chance. What is it you want? We asked them, and what do you want? What do you expect to make out of this? Because the idea is, students that walk out, they're pretty vulnerable to all sorts of things. Being out in the street, it would be a police officer's nightmare. So, to keep them in the school, all these schools were invited to come and participate in a forum where they could talk about this and get things off their minds, and perhaps some ideas that the administration got from this. So that was all kind of in the back of a lot of people's minds when they were writing this out. So in my mind, that was a definite labor of love.
I'm going to go ahead and read Tina's answer to the same question. Again, Tina Hara-Lambopoulos. She said, as the strategic plan has been developed, there was strong influence and participation from the D88 community. As part of the plan, I would like to see this continued support and involvement from the community. We'll now move on to the second question, which is, what is one thing you would do if elected to promote equity between both schools? I will go ahead and read Tina's answer first, and then we will go in reverse order, and then Mark, we will start with you. So I will answer Tina's, and then we'll have you answer the question. So Tina said, as a board member, we are invited to many events hosted by the schools, and it's important that we attend. One thing I can do to promote equity is to attend events at both schools to help bring up concerns if we see a lack of equity. So Mark, again, the question, what is the one thing you would do if elected to promote equity between both schools?
Well, first of all, I have to say that if a student at Willowbrook takes an advanced algebra class, that same student could go to Addison Trail and take that same class and pretty much get the same basic curriculum that they would receive and vice versa. Okay, so we pride ourselves on making sure that each school's needs are served. Certainly there are more interests in certain subjects at each school than others, but we do our best to try and cultivate an atmosphere that you're going to get pretty much in terms of education solid at both schools, no matter what classes you take. We tried very hard to make sure that those are consistent. The only thing we could do, well, there's plenty that we could do, but the one thing I'm thinking we could do is just keep listening to the students, because they're the ones whose interests are why we're here, and that would be, and that's just a continuous process.
Glenn?
Glen Matthews here. Being a new candidate, I've yet to see an apparent difference in the equity between the schools. My goal is to work as a team, a part of the board, to provide the best service to our children district-wide. Being a board member, it is my understanding and intentions that we are to serve the entire district equally. Yes, there are two schools, however, the goals are the same.
Lisa, same question.
Thank you. Lisa Knopf again. Equity between the two schools is important. It's important that all the students in the district receive the same opportunities and the same quality education. I think as a board member, one way to continue to promote that equity is to be involved in various events and being out in the community and speaking with students and parents about what is important. What may be important at one campus may not be as important at the other campus. The programs and the curriculum are driven by the students. You can offer the same classes at both campuses, but you may get more students at one campus sign up for a particular class and none at the other. So I think it's important. Equity may not be offering the exact same program at every school, but it might be making sure that the students and the parents are happy at both schools, because that's the equity that we want. We want successful students to come out of both schools. So equity, I think, is important in listening to the students and the parents at both schools. Thank you.
Amy?
Hi, I'm Amy Finnegan, and I think that really one of the greatest strengths of District 88 is their diverse student population. But at the same time, while we're all one district, they are two separate schools, and I think that equity is not always necessarily equal. As important as equity is, it's not always equal. And I think that we need to continually identify different deficiencies within each school, as well as progress that's being made in each school, and address them individually. Because I think that even from year to year or from class to class, as others have said, there can be a lot of difference between what one school needs and the other does. And the important thing is to give really the best education to every student in the district, regardless of what those needs might be. So I think that's essentially my take on equity.
Donna?
Okay, I'm Donna Kraft-Kane again, and I guess for me there's two parts of this. I've served on the Buildings and Grounds Committee for several years within the district, and so each year we spend money at each school to address building needs, whether it needs a new roof or whether something needs to be replaced and things like that. So sometimes we're not always able to do everything at all schools at the same time. So one of the things that we have done is put together a master list, and it's actually pretty amazing what our CFO has done. And he's got a spreadsheet that covers every component of the building, when it was put in place, when the life span will be up on the item, when the warranties are done, so that we can plan and know, at this school we're going to need to do this, at this school we're going to need to do that. So like this year, we are going to be spending a little bit more money over at Willowbrook on doing roofs, because we actually spent money a little bit more money a couple years ago doing roofs at Addison Trail because that's when the needs were. So I think from that standpoint, we have to constantly evaluate, saying where do we need to spend those construction dollars to make sure that the schools are kept up. But then there's the other part as far as the programs go, and as people have said, it's interesting, having gotten involved in both communities. The schools are similar, but they each have their own culture. And so there's been programs over the years as we've tried to maybe implemented one way at one school, but it didn't go as well at the other school, but we had to be tweaked because of that culture. Of the teachers, the staff, the parents, the students. So there are programs that are offered at one school and not at the other. For example, the Project Lead the Way over at Addison Trail, they're more medical. Over at Willowbrook, they're more engineering. One of the things we've asked and we're trying to look at, if there's ways that through technology that if a student is at Willowbrook and they really want to take that Project Lead the Way class over at Addison Trail, either to figure out a time or ability for the student to be able to travel across district or to be able to allow the student to take that class via technology or something like that. There's a lot of logistics involved in there, but you know, there's things like we have Italian at Addison Trail because there's a high Italian population. It's never caught on at Willowbrook. So again, the students do drive those programs, but we keep working at it. Thank you.
Thank you. Ray?
Ray Chidas. When I thought about equity, my initial thought was, how do they compare? But as Lisa mentioned, I am also a parent of my junior. He's a swimmer, so we get to conversate a lot with the Willowbrook families, which at this point are more than there are in Addison. But my wife and I, well, we discuss with them the programs that are available at Willowbrook and the similarities. And there are some differences, but for the most part, the programs that are designed are pretty much available to both groups. Also, I believe that also one of my children is involved in the YES group, which is a group at Addison Trail, and Willowbrook, I believe, has it as well. They have had some training on equity, and also the staff has engaged with them to get them to understand it, because there are some inequities in the system, and those are the things that I believe it's important for, especially the staff, to continue to educate and discover and realize, recognize the inequities that do exist, so that they are able to help with those tools from the training to help the children cope, to get them to feel that the equity is even. So that's my take on equity.
Okay. So now we have our third and final question, and I will read Tina's answer first. It is, what do you feel is the board's role to prepare students of D40 or D88 for an ever-changing and possibly unheard of job market? What is one innovative thing you would like to put in place to ensure that the students of D88 are well prepared for the future? Tina's answer to this question is, the board's role is to maintain the mission and vision of the school district. D88 focuses on college and career readiness by reviewing programs that will either help students prepare for college or offering certifications that students can obtain for different jobs. An idea for D88 is to open more virtual or online classes for students. This personalized learning can be available for all students in the district. It can enhance learning to close achievement gaps, be available for homebound tutoring, offer unique classes that may have small enrollments, and advanced coursework. So Ray, we will go ahead and start with you again and I'll repeat the question. What do you feel is the board's role to prepare the students of D88 for an ever-changing and possibly unheard of job market? What is one innovative thing you would like to put in place to ensure that the students of District 88 are well prepared for the future?
Ray Chidas again. District 88 does offer a lot of good programs for building of the college, of your college career, and also for vocational. Not all students are designed or going to be going to college. We all know. The vocational, I believe, is important. I definitely would like to do some studies and get some numbers on when these children or when these kids decide that they're not going to go to college and they're going to go to vocational. We're going to make an attempt. There are many skilled jobs out there that need this input and the availability to reach these kids. And I know that we have a fair, I believe it's once a year, but I believe we need to involve more, as we do with colleges, bringing those fairs 2 or 3 times. I think it's important to bring this vocational and involve these kids. My oldest went to COD for a machine shop, tool and die. That is a dying breed, a tool and die maker. It's almost difficult to find these people with experience. And he went to that class. He noticed there were a lot of older people that were taking this class because the kids nowadays, a lot of them don't want to use their hands, don't want to get involved. But there's many, I believe these are opportunities for these guys that decide, I'm not going to go to college, but I want to have a good job in HVAC and like I said, with tool and die. So I'd like to see the school board and the district promote more vocational to make sure that they are given that opportunity to succeed, as well as our college-bound students that are deciding that way. Thank you.
Donna, same question.
Donna Kraft Kane. When I first came on the board, one of the things, the facts I learned was that most people could change careers 8 times in their life, and that one of the goals of the district was to create lifelong learners, because you don't know what's going to happen in the future. You have to be prepared for that. So I think that's one of the reasons why, you know, we do encourage kids to challenge themselves. We have more kids taking AP classes than we've ever had before. We have more AP opportunities. As I mentioned before, we have more classes that offer certification. So we have, you know, children that, you know, when they graduate, there's, you know, they have all their food handling licenses and all their certifications, so they can actually go manage a restaurant. We have students who leave and can, you know, go off to get their HVAC technicians and things like that. So we have, we're actually one of both of our schools are NAEP test certified, and I believe we're only like 2 out of 8 or 10 public schools in the nation that have NAEP test certification for automotive programs. So, you know, we're consistently, you know, work towards providing opportunities for students. The hardest part is when classes don't run because we don't have enough enrollment, we don't have enough interest in those. And so I think those were opportunities for online programs and things like that are important. The other thing is every kid kind of gets to that point at a different point in their life where they know they want to do. I think about my youngest daughter who really struggled in high school for anxiety reasons and ended up graduating through the GOLD program, which is a program that we have for kids who just kind of don't function in the normal day. While she was going through that program, she found her passion, decided she was going to go to a 4-year college, and I wasn't so sure if that was going to happen, but she did get accepted and graduated from college last year, cum laude, 3 majors, and is now a first-year law student. You know, when I speak to kids at graduation, one of the things I always tell them is today's the first day of the rest of your life. Doesn't matter where you've been, now's your chance that you get to be in control of your life and move forward. And I think that's what we want to do for our students, is give them those opportunities so they can do what they want to do in the future.
Amy?
Amy Finnegan. Well, first of all, I would like to commend the district on its ongoing effort. They're constantly creating new programs, and they're creating partnerships out in the community with different businesses, is another aspect of training to meet the needs of all of the kids. But regardless of what each child goes out into the world to do as an adult, I think one of the best things that we can do as a district to prepare them for the future is really to teach the children, well, the students, I should say, to embrace change and to adapt and to be problem solvers. Because whether they go to college or they go into a vocation or they are a restaurant manager, we know, if there's one thing that we know is certain, is that things are not going to stay the same. So if we can kind of put that sense of being a lifelong learner into them, if we can kind of teach them grit and how to overcome their challenges and always just navigate the dynamic workplace that's going to be in front of them for the rest of their life, I really feel like that is going to be something that serves them well for the rest of their life. Thank you.
Thank you. Lisa?
Again, my name is Lisa Knopf. It's true, we don't know what the future job market's going to hold. Technology has changed so much, even in the last 5 years, that I think our role as a district, as a board guiding that district, is to, as somebody said, make our students lifelong learners. I think that not only do we need to emphasize college, and I think college is important. I'm a college graduate myself, but not every student is ready for college. And college is so expensive. Back 20 years ago, you could go to college and take a handful of classes in different subjects and see what you wanted to do. Now we can't afford to do that because college is so expensive that I think we need to do that at the high school level and move kids not just in a college track, but let them explore. They might be college bound, but let's keep the curriculum flexible enough where they're exposed to opportunities. We have college fairs, maybe we have a job fair, maybe we invite the unions in. These are high-paying jobs that you may or may not need a college degree for, but students don't know about them, and I think educating our students, letting them know that it's okay to change jobs, change careers, change tracks while they're in high school and when they're in college. If we give them that foundation in high school, they'll be successful as they move on. I myself am a career changer. I went back to law school when my daughter started high school, so we all did homework together. I had a little more homework than the high school and the 7th grader, but I've demonstrated to my kids that it's okay to make a switch, make a big switch. I was selling educational software and I went to law school, and now I don't do anything with technology. So I think that so many kids don't know what they want to do when they finish high school. It's okay to take a year off. It's okay to try a trade. It's okay to have a good paying job that you can support your family. And I would really like to see more cooperation with the trades, with the unions, with people who do things that are different than our traditional path. So thank you.
Thank you. Glenn?
Glen Matthews. So I believe the school district is moving in the correct direction to have children ready for, or the students, young men and women, ready for the future. Especially with, most recently, they've implemented that every student is going to receive a Chromebook. That's huge. It's so important. Everything is based on the computer. Even in the trades, everything is still based on the computers. So moving in that direction, I think, is a wonderful job. What I would like to see definitely is more trade-based classes. Classes that are in the school, taught by people who have been out and had the work experience, taught how to build a house, taught how to put electricity in the same house, HVAC, the plumbing, everything. I remember when I went to high school, I still use all of that. I took those classes in the high school that I went to. I still use all of that on a daily basis. My wife here in the front row, she's, how do you know how to do all of this stuff? And it was from high school. That's where I learned a big majority of that. Since then, I've worked at several of those types of jobs, but it was all because of the high school career that I had, being that it was in the schools that I learned the trades. I think that by sending them out and going somewhere else, I don't think you get the compassion that you would get if you had the trades based in the school. Have the unions come in and teach the classes. I'm sure they will. There's unions out there that would probably volunteer, you know, a lot of the materials and such to do stuff like that, because they are hurting for people in the trades. You know, everywhere, anybody you talk to, trades is what's a dying breed. You know, everybody wants to go to college, absolutely. But some people just, either they can't financially or they can't, you know, mentally, but they would succeed, they would strive, they would excel in the trades.
Okay. We'll go ahead and finish with you, Mark.
Mark Turk, once again. The board's role. I believe the board's role has three things: to encourage, advise, and coach. And with those things, you also pay attention to the vision, which in the District 88's case is to support the continuous improvement of student achievement. All students. Find something for everybody to do, have a career. And Donna mentioned about the 8 job changes on the average person. You know, some of these incoming freshmen, the jobs that exist now may not even exist by the time they're seniors. That's how fast things are changing. How many people wanted to join the Peace Corps after President Kennedy made the statement about it? How many people wanted to be journalists after Watergate? You know, the world events kind of changed these careers a little bit too. So one of the things that we've been working on are internships and business education partnerships, where kids would be an intern in a business. I don't use the word factories anymore, but manufacturing facilities or law firms or grocery stores, or do an internship, getting partial credit and also being compensated to some degree to do that. That's just one of the things I had in mind. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Well, we'd like to thank all of the District 88 school board candidates for being here tonight. And so this wraps up your portion of the forum. So thank you again. And we'll just say again, we appreciate all of you being here, and we appreciate everyone in the audience being here and sitting through this. So right now we're going to take a quick break. We'll let the District 88 candidates come off the stage, and then we'll break for about 10 minutes. During that time, people can use the restroom, get up, walk around a little bit. But before we do that, we would like to have Bailey McMurray come up. Bailey is the president of the Villa Park Junior Women's Club, and she's going to say a few words about the Women's Club. And then after our 10-minute break, we will ask the village board candidates to please take the stage. Thank you.
Good evening and welcome everyone. My name is Bailey McMurray. I'm the president of the Villa Park Junior Women's Club. I'm excited to be here this evening. The Villa Park Junior Women's Club is celebrating its 15th anniversary this year. Since 2004, our mission is simple: to make a difference and enhance the lives of those in the community. The club also provides opportunities for volunteers to connect and foster relationships through philanthropic service, networking, collaboration, and leadership. We also nurture long-lasting relationships with local businesses, organizations, fellow service clubs, and others who share the same passion as we do. We kindly invite you to join us at the next club meeting Wednesday, April 10th at the Iowa Community Center beginning at 7:45 p.m. Also, I would like to take this opportunity to share some of the club's spring initiatives. Every year, the club sponsors a scholarship to benefit a female Villa Park student. This scholarship promotes and rewards women's involvement in a variety of community service activities. This opportunity is eligible to female Villa Park residents who have high school senior status. The application period is still currently open, and we're accepting applications through April 15th. Also, please make plans to join us Saturday, May 4th at DeMito Saloon here in Villa Park for our annual spring fundraiser. Proceeds from this event will help support the club's charitable mission and benefit our scholarship fund. All this and more can be found by visiting our website at vpjwc.org, or when it's back up and running, find us on Facebook at Villa Park Junior Women's Club. The club is proud to have an engaging, diverse, and passionate membership community, helping to make a difference in Villa Park and, of course, around the surrounding area. Thank you to all our candidates, village leadership, volunteers, staff, and all those in attendance and potentially viewing at home in the future for supporting and being a part of this political forum. We hope you find this an informational and productive session. Thank you.
Okay, everyone, we're going to get started again. So we'd like to welcome our village trustee candidates to the stage. We will let everyone know we have 4 candidates running for 3 open seats this year. So thank you all for being here. As the previous candidates before you, each of you will have 3 minutes to tell us a little bit about yourself and why you've chosen to run for village trustee. So we'll go ahead and get started.
My name is David Salella. For those of you who don't know me, I'm currently on the board of trustees. I've lived in Villa Park for 31 years, 58 years old, married for 36 years. I've got 2 young adult children. Both live relatively close to me. I also have 2 grandchildren. My youngest is 8 months, and my oldest is 4, going on 20. I have 35 years municipal experience behind me, and I'm bringing that to the table to promote myself again. 26 years of those were with the village of Addison. I was a supervisor for Public Works. 7 years were also with Lombard, and my most current were the last 2 years here on the board of trustees. Both of my children attended St. Pius Willowbrook, and then on to college. Both of my grandchildren are attending the E.C. Seals Learning Center, where I also work part-time since retiring from municipal work. And boy, I had something I wanted to pass along to you, but I'll get to it later. Thank you.
Hi, my name's Donald Case. I lost track how long I've lived in Villa Park. Own a construction company, married, served on the board for the last 8 years. Previous to that, I was on the Willowbrook High School Athletic Booster Club for 8 years. I just pretty much enjoy making Villa Park a better town, enjoy helping residents out, businesses, whatever it is to make the town better. And basically that's it.
Okay. Christine?
Yes, thank you everyone for coming and everyone that views in the future. My name is Christine Murphy. For those of you who don't know me, I'm a 60-year resident of Villa Park. I was born in Elmhurst, raised in Villa Park. I attended Ardmore School, St. Alexander School, Jackson, which was a junior high at the time, and Willowbrook High School. I graduated from Elmhurst College with a Bachelor of Science degree, and I'm retired from AT&T Bell Labs after 22 years as a business process engineer. I'd like to take this opportunity first and foremost to clear up a misconception that the feet on the street have brought to my attention. The comments are suggesting that I don't like co-candidate Salella because he was appointed to the open trustee position over me in 2017. That is entirely untrue. My angst is based on the discussions and appointment process that, from my perspective, was planned and in progress all the way back to the November 2016 election, when Trustee Bolthus was elected and transitioned into the president position of the Village of Villa Park. I encourage you to watch the board meeting dated June 2017, and draw your own conclusions. Chris Aiello's input stated that although my credentials at the time were strong, I had not gone through the election process. My response to that tonight is, be careful what you wish for. I'm back.
All right, good evening, everybody. How's everybody doing? First of all, I want to start off by thanking the Junior Women's Club for putting on this event. It's an excellent event. Thank you. And for everybody here for joining us, thank you for being here. Wanted to also thank Patrick McAndrews, who's in the back room recording this right now for us, so that way we could view it later at a later time. And then I also have to thank my wife at home with our 3 little kids. She is the most patient lady I know. So thanks. A little bit about myself. My name is Kevin Patrick. I grew up in Villa Park. My mom, a single mom, worked at Elmhurst Memorial Hospital for over 30 years in the phlebotomy department. And she worked hard enough to actually end up buying her home on the north side of Villa Park. I went to Jefferson Middle School, graduated there, went to Willowbrook High School. I graduated from Willowbrook High School, at which time I joined the United States Coast Guard. I was in the Coast Guard for 10 years. I married my wife, April, was my actual junior high sweetheart. We met at Jefferson Junior High. So we've been together for a while. We have 3 young kids right now. We have Benjamin, my 8-year-old. We have Max, my 6-year-old, and Grant, my 3-year-old. We now own our own home on the south side of Villa Park. I am a small veteran-owned business owner. I own a company called The Drone People. And I have been in the community for a while doing odd and end things. So that's a little bit about me. And again, I just wanted to thank you all for being here and giving me the opportunity to speak to you. Thank you.
Great, thank you. So now we'll go ahead with the questions that were submitted by the community. David, we'll start with you and we'll go down the line. The first question is, how do you plan on A, helping bring new businesses to Villa Park, and B, supporting the businesses that are already here?
Well, first and foremost, we will need to understand the needs, the visions, the aspirations of our stakeholders and residents, then by implementing surveys, vision workshops, focus groups, and steering committees to see what type of new businesses Villa Park needs or wants. We will need to continue to improve on the permitting process to streamline and process the requests of new and current businesses. We need to offer incentives for either property improvement tax breaks, incentives in meeting the current needs and the desires that currently affect the businesses directly. We also need to attract businesses that can coincide with existing businesses. Thank you.
Okay. Don, same question.
First of all, we have to work with the local businesses already we have in town. I think one of our biggest issues we're facing right now is in our downtown Villa area with our parking. For the last year and a half, myself, fellow board members, and staff have been working to relocate a business in that area so we can have more parking. And this is to get parking for the businesses already there. I believe once we solve that problem, this will generate more businesses in that area. And it already has developed some interest in with some developers with this project I just have discussed. We have to keep developing the other side of the tracks. When I say the other side of the tracks, I don't consider Villa Park north side, south side, because I consider it all the same town. It's the same zip code. I consider it the same. I don't consider it north side, south side. We have to keep developing that side, whatever, the whole town we have to keep developing. We have to keep communicating with the businesses in the town and keep listening to their concerns and help them out with whatever we have to.
Okay, thank you. Christine?
Yes. Christine Murphy again here. I plan to work closely with economic development to support efforts to make Villa Park a sought-after place to locate a business and diversify the types of businesses that locate in our village. Just as important, if not more, it's imperative that we work hard to retain existing businesses that have operated in Villa Park for decades. Several conversations with local business owners included expressed frustrations in overcoming obstacles with the village while attempting to improve their existing facilities. One of these businesses is currently looking to relocate. As a trustee, I will propose a personal outreach to each and every business in an effort to understand their issues, present them to the board, and work toward resolution if feasibly possible. Coffee with the board, as previously mentioned by one of the co-candidates, is not an appropriate venue and will not be well perceived as an appropriate venue to discuss personal business specifics.
Kevin, same question.
All right, thank you. Kevin Patrick. A few years ago, former village president, which then was trustee Deborah Bullwinkle, sat in these same spots and answered questions just like these while she was running for village president. And Deb talked about a creation of a Village of Villa Park strategic plan. It would define who we are, what we want to accomplish, and how we want to get there. It was a strategic plan that helped us as a village achieve our goals and overcome those obstacles. And kind of like Deb, I think the first thing that needs to be done is to create a strategic plan, specifically focusing on economic development, and stick to it. I believe that the village of Villa Park is a diamond in the rough. I mean, we have so much potential here, so much potential. I think it's essential that we create this strategic plan, not just designed by the village board, but with active participation and input from our existing businesses. We are the people. We are the businesses, and I think we need better avenues of communication with the board. I want to make all of this happen, and that's why tonight I'm going to ask all of you for your vote on April 2nd. Thank you.
The second question, we'll start with you, Don. As a member of the board, is it more important to you to represent the voters or to keep staff, management in place and satisfied?
Well, since I've been on the board, you have to really listen to both sides of the story. There's always two sides of the story when it comes. You listen to the residents, you listen to staff, and you discuss the problem between both residents and staff, and you come to a solution. 95% of the time, it's been worked out very easily. If it's not, you work it out until it comes to a solution. I mean, I think you have to work on both sides of the party.
Christine?
Now, this was question number 2, correct?
Yes.
Okay. I am, again, Christine Murphy still. And the question is it more important to you to represent the voters or to keep the staff management in place and satisfied? First and foremost, residents and small business owners approached me to run for this village board position to represent their voices and express their opinions. By definition, the role of a trustee is to represent the people with the issues that are critical, as we continue to operate on a day-to-day basis. Trustees initiate, consider, and vote on issues that affect the everyday life of residents, businesses, and property owners. On a recorded call with the Daily Herald, an incumbent referenced a good working relationship with staff, but had no input regarding relationships during closed-door meetings. As a resident and taxpayer funding village initiatives, unless a necessity from a legal or moral perspective, I am not an advocate of closed-door meetings. If it can't be said in front of the residents, perhaps we should reconsider saying it.
Kevin, same question for you.
All right, Kevin Patrick. To start off, I think that it is most important to represent all of the residents rather than trying to keep the management and staff satisfied and in place. Not only is it the job of the trustee, what they were elected to do, but it's one of my reasons for running in this election. I want to be the voice of the people, and I want to make sure that you are heard. And I want to make sure that after tonight, all of you know that I am willing to give my all to represent each and every one of you. There's going to be times when board members don't see eye to eye with the village manager or staff, and there will be times that they do. And there will be times when a friendly reminder is in order that this is the people's town. And then there will be times that with healthy debate, we can collectively overcome all obstacles. Most brilliance comes from healthy and passionate conflict, but the real challenge occurs when people argue or create conflict without positive purpose. As a village trustee, I am not interested in winning a debate for my ego. I'm not interested in that at all. I'm interested in winning the debate because you, the people, your voice has asked me to. Thank you.
David, the same question for you.
Sure. Voter representation is foremost the most important to me. But also a good working relation with our staff is also needed to maintain a progressive forward motion. By working with the staff and its residents, you will receive a broader vision of what can or cannot be accomplished either through development, with the development committee, or finance. All these areas of the village staff plays an intricate role. I believe that our current board is working hand in hand with staff, operating smoothly and accomplishing many things. I think without that, you don't have a solid working foundation to promote the needs of the residents and/or businesses.
Okay. Thank you. We'll now go on to the third question, and we'll start with Christine. The question is, what is your plan to further enhance the amenities of Villa Park, and how do you propose to fund those enhancements?
Yes, again, I'm Christine Murphy, and my first thought at glance at reading the question was to enhance the amenities of our town. The first and foremost thing is put water in Lufkin Pool. That's the easy answer. But a consistent record of voting down maintenance and improvements to existing core amenities is not in the best interest of our residents and property values. Not only annual budgeting, but appropriation of the funding to maintain core amenities is instrumental to keeping Villa Park a sought-after place to live and our property values high. I'd like to share with you a picture of not all, but a decent representation of some of our sidewalks. Not necessarily by the fault of Public Works. I've been advised that funding for the 50-50 sidewalk plan is limited, and I could be on the repair list for anywhere from 3 to 5 to 9 years. I'm all for working toward future improvement plans, like the new rec center, including a pool, and the repair of my sidewalks 5 to 9 years down the road. But implementation with no interim contingencies is not in the best interest of our town. If elected village trustee, I will propose that all village processes be reviewed for efficiency, effectiveness, and opportunities to reduce expenses without compromising on the quality of service to our residents. We should not, as a practice, be called upon for additional funding through referendums. It was interesting because as I walked to get my signatures, not only were some of the sidewalks on my street in disrepair, but many of them throughout town are. It's not the right answer to come back and tell a resident who is willing to input 50% of the repair costs that it could be 3 to 5 to 9 years before we can get at this. We need to find the funding and make some of these things happen in a more expeditious manner, and we need to have plans in place to transition from some of our core amenities that are in need of repair and maintenance to 10 years down the road when we can implement these wonderful ideas.
Kevin, the same question to you about amenities and proposal to fund them.
Sure, thank you. Kevin Patrick. We have so many amenities in this town that have been destroyed or are being destroyed by what I call the lack of vision. We have leaking roofs and windows at fire stations. The parks that we let our kids play in are crumbling. We have 2 deteriorating pools, and it's only a matter of time before Save Lufkin is Save Jefferson. We need vision. Someone that can be the voice for some of these groups that are out there, especially the ones that are coming up with ingenious ideas on how everyone can get what they want, even without raising our taxes. We need someone that will hear these groups, not just listen to them, but also give them a fair shake to voice their positive solutions to the board. A voice that won't misconstrue or purposely word things in such a way that make us, the people, led to believe that there are no other possible positive solutions. I'd like to remind everybody about the referendum question that'll be on the ballot on April 2nd. This is a non-binding referendum, and your taxes aren't going to be raised if you vote yes. And I think it's only fair to finally give these groups their fair shake this time around. So on April 2nd, I will be voting yes for the Save Lufkin Pool referendum. Thank you.
David, same question to you.
David Salala. Interesting. Improving downtown parking. This is a big project that not myself alone has been looking forward to for a long, long time, but it's the passion of the current board to achieve parking for the downtown district, to improve their businesses and their quality of life as a business owner. That is a project that will be completed and will benefit all. Also, moving forward with parks, pools, and a possible rec center. Very important. Enhancing our public transportation, either through routing and or possible pickup areas or drop-off areas, to invite outsiders and our residents into the business district or to other parts of town that they don't normally be able to reach. Those are some of the improvements that are currently being looked into, and a lot of effort is putting into achieving these. Thank you.
And Don.
With the feasibility and the survey that was just sent out with the water bill for the residents, I think we're going to get a good input on really what the residents would like to see. I would love to see a community center in town, and that would make us consolidate some of the other facilities into one, and then we'd be able to sell some of those buildings off, and that would fund some projects. Staff is always looking for grants, and we're always looking into the businesses to relocate to Villa Park that would generate some new tax dollars. Recently, President Boltus was on something about a new business relocating to town. Through conversation, I was in touch with a developer, and he found it very interesting in sitting down with President Boltus and myself about discussing this. By law, you cannot discuss it with more than a trustee or a president. So it hasn't been brought to the board yet because it just recently came up. This will bring, if we do bring this business into town, it will generate a lot of tax dollars into our town. So there's a lot going on, and it's just basically getting grants and working with staff to keep working on grants and generating money to get into this town.
Okay. For our fourth and final question, we'll start with you, Kevin. How do you currently support Villa Park, including but not limited to shopping at our local small businesses, volunteering for organizations or committees or commissions, or participating in local events and amenities around Villa Park?
Sure, thank you. Kevin Patrick. I think I support the town in many ways. For example, I like the pizza that Tony Otto is cooking over there at Michael Anthony's. I like the beer that Sonny and Terry are brewing over at Moore Brewery. I bought my kids on the last day of school last year a golden retriever puppy from Deb at Eclipse Dog Grooming. I love the coffee at Larry's at Funky Java. I let my kids run around the play place at the O'Keefe Family Restaurant. And even yesterday, I got this amazing haircut from Tony Maselli at Tony's Barber Shop. But besides shopping local, I'm the chairman of the Villa Park Fire and Police Commission, as well as the chairman of the Villa Park Cable Commission. I volunteer at Science Night for both school districts, 45 and 48. I teach kids how to overcome their fears of reptiles and snakes, which, come Thursday, March 21st, I invite you all to come meet some of my scaly friends at Ardmore School's Science Night. Before my direct involvement with the village, I was a member of the Villa Park Masonic Lodge, a great organization in which one of its core values is charity. I volunteered for Cancer Camp for Kids. I volunteered for the Shriners Hospital, Toys for Tots. I even organized at the DuPage County Fairgrounds for the Disciples a food drive for the Disciples Food Pantry here in Villa Park. I'm a small business owner of a business called Drone People, and I'm a licensed drone pilot with the FAA. I teach people how to fly drones and how to capture high-resolution aerial videos and pictures, and I provide full feature production, including movies and commercials. But I'll begin to wrap it up, but I think my most favorite contribution was what I did for my country. I'm a veteran. I'm a proud veteran. I went to places where I might not have come back from. I helped the Gulf Coast recover from the disastrous effects of Hurricane Katrina. And as a first responder, I helped find people escape from debris. And there were those that didn't make it, and I pulled a lot of them out of the water. I enlisted in the United States Coast Guard March 27, 2001 because I wanted to help my mom pay the bills. About 6 months later, September 11th happened. I was in a classroom in Yorktown, Virginia, sitting next to a friend whose dad worked at the World Trade Center and couldn't be found. I still remember how bad I felt for him and all the others. But at that moment, I realized that our communities are strongest when we stick together. That day, I knew that I had so much more to offer my country. I served 2 enlistments and 2 extended contracts and served 11 months in Iraq. I'm glad to say that I'm a veteran. So I would say that being a veteran has been one of my best contributions to not only Villa Park, but my country. And come April 2nd, I hope that you'll continue to let me serve our community by electing me, Kevin Patrick, as your next village trustee. Thank you.
Just in time. Good job. All right. David, same question to you, please.
Well, myself and my extended family living in Villa Park, we make every effort to make all our purchases, whether they're small or large, here in town to support our local businesses. We also support many local charities as possible. We also like to support our school district, our local children's activities that also rely on fundraising. Having children in the past having to do these duties is quite daunting, and I know what parents go through in order to raise funds for their children to support those activities. I'm currently involved, obviously, as a trustee for Villa Park, supporting my residents and businesses by listening, good decision making, and trying to make, excuse me, Villa Park a town that's in a forward motion and providing for the future generations so they can enjoy the benefits and the quality of life that we've all come to know. Thank you.
Don?
Yeah, I try to make as many events as possible. I mean, like the VFW, the Chamber of Commerce, Summerfest, Walk on the 4th of July Parade, fundraisers like Kiwanis we did at the bowling alley. You know, I am on the commission at the Sugar Reef Golf Course. Yes, honestly, I haven't made 2/3 of the meetings because of village matters and personal business matters, but I try to make as many as possible.
And Christine, again, this will be the final answer of the evening. How do you currently support the town, including but not limited to shopping at our local small businesses, volunteering for organizations or commissions, or participating in local events and amenities in Villa Park?
Thank you. I am, again, and still Christine Murphy. And as previously mentioned, I have been supporting our Villa Park election process for the last 14 years, acting as a technical election judge for DuPage County. I consistently shop at our local businesses like Mike's Meat Market. I'm an avid patron of the library, frequently get car repairs from A to Z Auto, and purchase lawn and garden supplies from Pioneer Garden. During the election process, I'm here to support each and every resident and small business owner. Let's not make this about me, let's make it about you. This trustee position, again, is not about me, it's about each and every one of you. In conclusion, I believe from the core of my soul that there's no one sitting up here tonight that's more capable and deserving of the trustee position, that worked harder on his campaign, dedicates more time and endless energy to our country, the police, the cable commission, community, and his family than Kevin Patrick. You have 3 votes for village trustee. If I only had 1, I would encourage everyone, and I did, vote for Kevin Patrick. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks.
So that's it for our forum this evening. We'd like to thank all of the village trustee candidates, as well as the school board candidates and Mr. McCleary, the library board candidate, for participating in tonight's forum. And thank you to all the residents of Villa Park, family and friends, for coming out tonight, and those who will be watching the replay at home. We hope that the Villa Park Junior Women's Club was able to help our community make informed choices in the upcoming election, and that you will all get out and vote on April 2nd, or send your ballots in ahead of time. The forum was recorded and will be posted on the Villa Park Junior Women's Club Facebook page, as well as our website. It will also be on TV VP style on YouTube, and you can watch a rebroadcast on UVerse Channel 99, Comcast Channel 6 at 7 p.m. each evening, beginning tomorrow?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, tomorrow.
Beginning tomorrow until the election and possibly after. So we'll just say until April 2nd. So thank you again. If you have further questions about the Villa Park Junior Women's Club, we encourage all of you to visit our website, www.vpjwc.org, or search for the Villa Park Junior Women's Club on Facebook. So thank you again, everyone, for participating and being here.
Yep.